So when we're talking about a process like this, a print that's badly damaged, the print has actual cracks going through faces. It has unfortunately tape on parts of it, and the original photograph is an oil painted portrait, which means the photographer had an artist put some of the color in it, and in cases like this here, actually put back some of the form that was lost in the shadows. The lighting in studios, especially for large groups, wasn't really adequate to be doing large groups like this, and so there was a lot of fallout, not just in the lights and darks, but in the actual faces, and if there was a lot of difference in the value of the clothing, the light also caught it separately. And in addition to that, most of these were done on a very narrow oval. As you can see, the dimensions of the print itself would have been one that have been put in one of those bubble glasses, which eventually, because of moving around and storing in attics and basements and so forth, would have been removed, either because it got cracked or because it started to have moisture or mold or something inside the glass. At the time the photograph was done and framed, it probably would have been sealed at the back, but again sealed with a wood pulp paper, the same as this is mounted on, and so the print, the backing, and eventually the frame becomes very fragile. To find a glass like that is very unusual these days. The ovals now that we have are more towards a proportion of an 8x10 photograph, meaning they're not long like these are. So the glass is almost impossible to find. Having a matte cut would also be pretty difficult. So the solution to that was coming up in the next photograph. So again, we're focusing here on where the huge tear was going down through everyone. The faces basically very carefully, very slowly were rebuilt. The lighter colors are actually showing up later on the video than they are in the actual print that we've redone for them. Detail was put into faces, and some detail was solidified here in the darker parts where they were before they were just drawn in. We also, because of the cracking, added some of the carpet in, which gave the print a little bit more dimension to go into a rectangle. So some of the patterns were also redone. The evening out of the faces were done across the entire photograph. And then what we did was we ended up doing, still doing a 16x20, but I suggested that we do a frame around it, which let the photograph be essentially the same size, but it made it very convenient for them when they're going to be doing framing, because this is a 16x20 still, but it's now a conventional size. They could basically go anywhere and get a frame for it. And when we do this for them, so that it's preserved, this is not preserved on cardboard. This is a product that's very stable, and it actually has a finish over the top of it, which means that now their family heirloom is going to be good for another 40 plus years. So I hope this gives you a little insight into how I do some of the retouching, and possibly I will do a few more frames to this video before I publish it, and we could have a few more close-ups of what the original and what the finished print looked like. So again, if you're interested in doing anything to get your family heirlooms redone and preserved for you, just give us a call at 905-354-8692, or we're available on our 800 number of 393-7270. And again, it's Baldini Vandersluys Photographers on Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Thanks for watching.